team, along with Sam Watson and his team, we're going to stand together and fight this disease.
I've come this way before, traveled through open door, circumstances navigated the path, and life happened all so fast. No, it got lonely sometimes, you see, I know we couldn't make it, even when I'm
Off beat, I still land on
my feet, and nothing can shake me, cause I know life took a hold. I never, this is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a paper, no rehearsal. Learn quickly,
Come for your role.
games we play, can't take it personal.
Cause the devil is alive. Tell us what you do. Hey, hey. Things you gotta do. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, what's up, DB?
What up?
How you feel, mate?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah,
That's a fact, man. You got the great Clifton Powell in the building today, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we gonna rock out. Get up, get up. You might as well run for president, DB. How about that? How about you be the president because you're bilingual? You're bilingual. You be the president. I be the vice president. You know what I mean? Shucks. Why not? Why not? Why not, man? You can get the Latino vote for us, man. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Hey, man. Turn the White House into Club 112, man. Blue Flames or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Oh, man. You gotta give back, give love. Let me say what's up to people because, man, the man of the hour is already here, man. DB, I appreciate you, man. Alma, what's up, man? Everybody gonna pile on there. Cletus, Knowledge, everybody gonna born. We got a bunch of people already in here, man. I appreciate you, SS. Appreciate you, Patricia Shelton, man. And we just gonna rock out, man. We ready when you are, Mr. Powell, man. And we gonna have some fun.
Big homie Coop in the building. Jarvis Johnson. What up, JJ?
Yeah, man. It's an honor to have Mr. Powell in the building, man. Hey, can I do like my personal intro, man? I just want to say this to you, man. Can I say something to you?
It's all good, bro.
Can I say, what's up, nigga?
What up, no? Thank you, no. Hey, man, you know, I'm just, hey, what part of the country are you in?
Los Angeles. I'm in LA.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm just honored, man, to man, this damn thing make your head look fat as hell. You know?
Turn it the other way. Turn your phone the other way, man. Turn the
my phone won't go the other way. I got a new phone and I don't know how to work it.
Oh, okay.
But, it's all good. I just like I'm on this new pescatarian diet and I'm thinking I'm losing weight, but I'm really eating more shit than I ever did before. I'm like, no, but I feel good though. I feel better. But anyway, man, this thing make your head look fat as hell.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, listen, let me say this to you, man. I'm just so honored, man, if people really knew my story, man, if people are trying to make it in this business, if I can make it, I feel like anybody can make it, man. I wanted to be a football player. I never wanted to be an actor. And it's just been a blessing, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's absolutely been a blessing. And the co-host is on deck, man, DB, who is actually a vegan.
Okay.
Yeah. So his head.
Oh no, bro. It seemed like you eat like I was losing weight, but now I'm eating lasagna. I just had a vegetarian lasagna with all that pasta.
Uh-huh.
Then I'm eating vegetarian bread with all that yeast, but it's vegan yeast. And now I gotta go back to my smoothies and whatnot because I'm looking at these podcasts I've been doing all week, man, and Zoom. My head fat as hell. And then I go in the bathroom and check my head, and then that don't look fat in the mirror. But then when I go out to meetings, people are like, oh, you look good. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like, so I'm in between, man, but I feel better because you know that meat's not sitting in your system. So you feel much better, my vegan brother, right?
Yes, absolutely, 1,000%.
Yeah. How old are you?
DB.
29.
Okay, well I'm 92, but I look like I'm in my 60s.
Hey, nigga, hey, you've been 42 your whole career, nigga.
I didn't start until I was 70. No, I went to high school with Harry. No, a lot of people don't know. I went to high school with Harriet Tubman's sisters.
I knew that.
No, I just finished doing the movie, man. I'm playing, as you can see, my gray right here. I just finished a movie with Carrie Hilson and Tank, and I'm playing Carrie Hilson's grandfather. I say, come on, y'all really, really stretching this damn thing now. But my hair was all white. My mustache is all white. I look like I was in Django. But it's gonna be a good movie, and it's a different look for me. I'm growing this bald head, and then I'm gonna cut it. I gotta cut it, and then I'm gonna dye this black because I was looking like a black bloated Isaac Hayes.
Are you about to get your Beijing on?
I can't use Beijing anymore, bro. I can't use I'm allergic to the PPD or whatever the hell it is. I've been using it since I was in high school back in the early 30s. And now I can't use it no more. I think the new millennials got a different thing going on.
You know what before we go, man,
man, you started this shit. Don't put it on me. You start talking about how old I was. Talking about
what's Les Brown uses mascara.
I know, but you know what happens?
It gets on this shit, yeah.
No, my girl won't kiss me no more, you know? and so every time she kisses me, she's like, what is this black stuff all over me? I'm like, really it's mascara, but I'm gonna tell you it's Beijing. Hey man, it's not easy in trying to stay young in this business, bro. Because the older you get, the more the rolls dry up.
Oh, I get
and that. Just so everybody know, I'm drinking Jesus juice. So don't text me talking about what you drinking. I've been doing interviews all day, and I'm drinking Jesus juice because this is my last interview. I started this morning at 11 o'clock.
Well, hang out, man. We're gonna leave when you're ready, and appreciate Chris. He's in the building too, man. Appreciate
Chris. How you doing? He's the beast.
Yeah, for making this happen for us, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Saints and sinners, man. Let's talk about it, man. That pretty much sums up your career to a degree. Saints and sinners, the title of that, man.
Well, you know, I played everything. You know, this is really what happens when you're African American in this business, man. I get a lot of accolades, but I get a lot of hate too. You know, he's in every shitty movie. He's done every C-list movie. He takes any shitty role. I mean, it's as much as I love black people, man, we got to fall back and do our research, bro. You know, I started in the 1979, 80 when I joined SAG, and I did 10 years in New York, and then I did 25 years in LA. And I played everything from Martin Luther King to Ray to Pinky to Rush Hour to Dead Presidents to, you know, and I just encourage the new millennials to just do your homework, man, and stop making those memes about don't we hate these actors in real life, man. It's just acting, man. Make those memes for De Niro and Pacino, who played tough guys like damn near every movie. And we just got to stop being so hard on each other, man. And I know it may sound like I'm sensitive, but I take it personal because, you know, we are craftsmen, and we should get the respect and the honor that we deserve for being craftsmen. I don't know too many actors that can go from, now it doesn't matter what happens now. We've got some difficult days ahead. Like anybody, I would like to live. That's voice training, bro. That's voice training. Hey, Dave, baby girl. That's voice training. And I do Black Dynamite, or when I do all voices, that's voice training. I was the worst actor in my program. I wanted to be a football player. I never wanted to be an actor. But I don't know if it's a blessing or if it's a training. And I think it's both, where you can morph into Martin Luther King, then do Cuddy, and then do 8 voices on Boondocks and Black Dynamite, then go do Black Smoke, and then do Cuddy, and then do Chauncey, and then people, and then go play somebody tell me Jesus.
Right.
Come on, somebody.
Right.
And go do a pastor on black lighting, and then you get ridiculed by your people, man. It's amazing. A guy came to my page the other day because I blocked this girl who had a negative comment, and I can't even tell you what he said to me. But I'm gonna give you part of it.
Yes.
He called me a coon D-eating bitch.
What?
You coon ass actor. What he came to my page and say, why block, bitch? You coon dick eating bitch. This is a black man who said that to me, bro. So as much as I am honored and I'm respected for the work that I've done, it's a burden at the same time, because, and I want the new millennials to understand, man. And I'm doing a one-man show called An Evening with Clifton Powell, where I break all the business down, because my teachers trained me and taught me to give back to my people. And I love black people, but I'm disappointed on some levels with the new millennials. And I'm not just going to, call out the new millennials, but I would say to everybody out there that has anything negative to say, do your research, man. We should get the same honor that De Niro gets and Pacino gets.
Right.
Viola Davis, and I'm going to stop here, but I saw Viola Davis when I did a movie called Pentagon Wars, which a lot of people didn't see. I played an army man, and I played the police, and I played a cop on Martin. I played an African prince on Jamie Foxx show. I saw Viola Davis, must have been 17 years ago. And of course, she's very dark, like me. And it was a time when guys like your complexion and mine were blocked. If I tell you how many times I've been blocked from projects, people wouldn't understand it.
Wow.
They think I'm playing a race card. But I saw Viola Davis. I said, I'm telling you, I don't know who this lady was, because she wasn't famous. I said, the world is going to know her, man, when I say she was a beast. So I said all of that to say, man, it's a new day for us. So many African Americans on TV, men, women.
Right.
We got to do better, man. We got to do better with each other. And until Black Lives matters to us, it ain't gonna matter to nobody else. So I hope y'all understand where I'm coming from, and I'm not being bitter. I'm just being real.
Man, you said until Black Lives matters. I got a response, but you got some fans in the building, man. He said the greatest line in men's society was with the white guy. I hope you wait on Compton Boulevard, you funky motherfucker. Black Lives Matter, man. Is that a cry for white acceptance when we in the streets singing Black Lives Matter?
No, I think what it is just, see, I grew up in the 60s.
Yes.
And I grew up when people don't understand it's really not about racism, it's more about classism. Because if you black and you got money, you ain't gonna go through the same shit everybody else go through.
Correct.
You know, O.J. Simpson, this nigga didn't hang out in the hood. Now, I don't dislike O.J., but O.J. didn't hang out in the hood. O.J. was rich.
Right.
If O.J. was not rich, he would have never got off that trial, whether he killed that lady or not. There's some poor white people to go through the same shit black folks go through. Right. Because it's really more about class and race. Don't get me wrong, racism is in there, but it's more a class thing, and it's the haves and the have-nots.
Right.
And I think that we have to make it this. One of the things that I do love about Black Lives Matter is, in my day, it was just in America. What I saw last summer was African-American lives or Black Lives Matter all over the world because of the information superhighway or the internet. Right. And that's a new day. There are, like Dr. King, when I played Dr. King, he said, if we don't learn to live together as brothers, we are going to perish together as fools. What I think 79 or 82 million people vote against Trump. So there are a lot of good people out there. People, do your research. White people helped run the Underground Railroad. There's always been abolitionists. So it's a lot of stuff that we just got to do our research and understand. We're more together than we are divided. But when you get somebody like Trump in the White House that uses that to devise a way to separate people, and he's a brilliant at it. And now, you know, he's so brilliant at it that he turned his own people against the government, and now they're on the outside looking in. You know how many troops they had in DC in my hometown? 25,000, and dared them to come to DC. Well, we'll shoot all of y'all asses. Because it didn't boil down to black and white. It boiled down to a democracy versus sedation. So anarchy. So this is not our fight anymore. Black lives have always mattered to us, but we got to do better because we've gotten caught up in this whole system. This is not our culture. We were stolen into this country. The only group of people who have ever been stolen into this country, stripped of all of our culture, our names, family split up. I don't want to hear anybody talk about, well, we got to forget about slavery. We still are suffering. The food, we're talking about being a vegetarian.
Right.
Well, there's a book you should read called Eating with Mother Nature. And a lot of black people going to be mad at me. But I'm telling you, Dick Gregory used to be almost 400 pounds. Soul food is death food. We have more high blood pressure, more diabetes, more gout, more anything than anybody else. So it's a whole process when we talk about Black Lives Matter. But I will say this before I stop. These new millennials are just not having the same kind of oppression that our forefathers and my generation grew up with. So that's a beautiful thing. We had a black man in the White House. I never thought I'd see a black man in the White House. I so wish my dad was alive. Wow. I never thought I'd see a black woman before I saw a white woman in the White House. So we're making progress, but we got to do better with each other. And that's what I'm going to say. And don't y'all be writing me, and because I don't even go in my DMs.
DB.
Yeah, that's great, man. I want to go backwards a little bit, but I will start with this first. Were you satisfied with Barack Obama's term? And how do you feel about having a black woman and Kamala Harris in office now?
Well, let me say this. First of all, we got to look at the overall politics of how bills are passed and everything that Obama did. They blocked him. But you also got to understand, Obama couldn't come in there like H. Rap Brown, like, oh, we're going to take care of black people and we're going to do everything we can for the downtrodden African Americans. No, he couldn't do that. He's got to be the president of all the people. They would have ran that nigga out of there. I'm just saying, they would have ran him. They would have run Obama out faster than they tried to get him out. First of all, they couldn't even believe a black man was in the White House. They hated him. Right. If he had been my complexion or your complexion, bro, what's your name again?
Frederick.
Frederick. Look a little like Frederick Douglass people too. No, you got around your eyes. No, let me stop, bro. Please don't come back at me and say nothing crazy. But what I'm saying is, you know damn well if Obama had been my complexion, your complexion, his black ass would have been in the White House. You're absolutely right. If y'all know how many movies, I was telling somebody the other day, I was up for a huge movie. Because what happens with me is people come up to me, and you got to understand, I'm a Negro from the hood. I don't know nothing about being no Hollywood star. You know, my girl gets on me all the time about, well, you telling too much and you saying too much and you're acting too niggerish. I don't give a fuck. Excuse my language. I'm gonna be me because I didn't know, I didn't plan to do this, and I didn't have a plan, so I don't know how to be. I'm not gonna just diss my people because I'm a star. I can't do that. I wasn't raised that way. So when I say I don't give a F, I don't mean a curse, but if you don't give a F, then you buy into the system and you get to a point where I'm below doing interviews like this. Well, I'm doing Saints and Sinners, but I don't do African-American interviews. What? Right. Come on. So I think we have to step back with Obama and understand and look at what happened. They blocked everything that he did. And then talk about socialism. They talk about socialism like it's communism. Socialism means for the people. Right now, they try to pass a bill. Do you know how much money they fund the military? Billions. I did a movie I did with Viola Davis. It was called Pentagon Wars. It was about this equipment that they bought. They spent $30 billion and never used the equipment. Is that crazy? Wow. They never used the equipment. If you look at the police budgets, they're billions of dollars. And they're killing black people like it's lunch. It's crazy. They blocked everything the guy did, and he was in a bubble. He could not be super black, man. They would have dragged his ass out and made him walk back to Africa. So I'm glad he was there. He did what he could. I think Kamala Harris, you know, because of her background in law enforcement and being a DA back in the day, she has a bad rap. A lot of black people don't like her. She's apologized for that. That's like if you married, man, you're going to apologize at least 20 times in 10 years. I know I've been apologizing the whole pandemic. If you talk to my girl, she's like, oh, this Negro here, y'all think he's so nice. Oh, this Negro needs a lot of work. And I'm man enough to say, yes, so I think we got to give Kamala a pass. Or not to give her a pass, hold her accountable. But it's just, man, back in my day, if you'd have told me, and I'll stop here because this is heavy stuff, that a black woman would be in a White House or a black guy, man, people like, you out your damn mind. Are you Miss Cleo's sister or brother? A lot of y'all don't know. A lot of y'all don't know Miss Cleo. They're like, where's Miss Cleo? Yeah. That's that psychic lady who was taking everybody's money, and they found out she was a correction officer. I'm stopping. Go ahead, bro. What's your question?
DB, go ahead, D.
No, it's Miss Cleo. Call me now.
Call me now. Don't you know I make your blessing?
Yeah.
So I think let me say this last part. I don't know if we're ever going to be satisfied with a Democrat or Republican. We make a lot of money in this country. This ain't 1863. We billionaires now, man.
Wow.
And we delivered the presidential nomination in Atlanta and around the country, man. It is a lot of folks, black folks that didn't vote, that voted this time. Right. We have to hold everyone accountable. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, but we got to give these guys a chance to make, get their feet under them, because Trump did a lot of stuff, bro.
Right.
Go back and do your research, man. And for all my brothers and sisters out there that voted for Trump, go do your research. Stop making these blanket statements. Right. Stop being capitalists that you only give a damn about money, man. Mm-hmm. Because if you do your research on Trump, he's dirty as two left shoes, bro.
Isn't he?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, what we doing next? What we talking about? I'm seeing all my high school friends chiming in.
Alexander, Mr. Powell, my father went to high school with you at St. Anthony's in DC.
Oh my God, that's Dane Edley's son. Tell him I said hello.
Oh wow, that's beautiful. That's
Dane
beautiful.
Edley. Oh, come on, his dad was a beast. John, I went to St. Anthony's High School in DC. After they damn near kicked me out of DeMatha.
You went to DeMatha. Okay.
Went to DeMatha for it. I'm gonna tell you how I got to DeMatha. But Dane Edley was a hell of a basketball star. John Thompson Sr. was my high school coach, and Dane was a bad boy back in the day.
John Thompson was your high school coach? Wow.
John Thompson was my high school. Luckily, I wasn't trying to play basketball, so I didn't have to worry about Big John cutting me. But when I say one of the baddest people, most incredible men, oh man, I can't even find the accolades for John Thompson.
Wow. It's
just the word. Mm-hmm. He was the epitome of a black man, and his sons and, his family I love, and, and so I'm just honored to have been in his presence. But then another great man, Morgan Wooten.
Morgan Wooten.
So I did an interview this morning with Sister to Sister.
Yeah.
And, I was asked the question, why you handle yourself the way you do in your humbleness? Well, my nephew is a sportscaster, James Brown. You know JB?
Yeah. So now you can get your advice on what to do with your beard then.
CBS. No, yeah. JB don't have JB. JB ain't got no beard.
No, but he got he put something in his hair.
Oh yeah. Well, no, listen, I got the news. I can't use, listen, have you ever had an allergic reaction to Beijing?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Bro, listen, I used a new thing, Cream of Nature, the other day, because I was doing a movie and my eyes swell up. I had an allergic reaction and I could have died. So you should look it up. And when I did my research, it says you can develop an allergic reaction to, I think it's called PPD, the ingredients is, and die.
Wow.
So now I'm going all natural and I'm using henna.
Okay, got that.
But anyway, JB was an All-American basketball star and one of the nicest people. And I kind of studied him as a little shorty coming up. And and I always, Lou Gossett, get this book for all the entertainers out there who are up and coming. Lou Gossett has a book called An Actor and a Gentleman.
Mm.
And that's the book I study, and I just try to not just be a fine actor and be a master in my craft, but be a good person to work with.
Right. Before DB asks his next question, you mentioned your high school. Dave Chappelle went to the same high school as you.
I don't know if they no. Oh, you know what? Dave Chappelle went to Duke Ellington.
Duke
So
Ellington.
let me tell you that story. So
Okay.
I was at the Matha. I went to in 8th grade. I was at Woodson Junior High, and JB was an All-American basketball star. So my sister is JB's. My sister Marianne Brown was JB's mom. We have different dads, same mom, and so I spent my weekends from the time I was 4 until I was in college with JB and them. And then my dad got sick in my sophomore, junior year in high school, and I went to live with JB full time, and my sister, who was his mom. And so when I got into acting, I was in a program called Workshop for Careers in the Arts, and my teachers were amazing. But my dance teachers, everybody knows, some people know, everybody knows Debbie Allen. Debbie Allen was my ballet teacher. And she was a master. And so I went there and I got into Workshop for Careers in the Arts, and the program got so big that they merged with Western High School and became Duke Ellington. And that summer we went there that summer, and then in the fall of September, I think 74, I went to college.
Right. I'm sorry.
No, Dave Chappelle went to Duke Ellington. Go ahead.
Did you ever have any conversations about being black in Hollywood as it pertains to Dave Chappelle? Have y'all ever had that?
No, you know what? I've only met Dave Chappelle one time. I think I saw him at the Cleaners before he was really Dave Chappelle.
Wow.
And I didn't know him that well. I've never met him, but I think he's amazing. And of course, Martin is from DC. Tony Tone, some real talent that comes out of DC. Genuine's out of DC area. Some real wonderful talent. Tony Braxton from the DMV area. Maya. My man. Tommy Davidson is from the DC area. And those are my contemporaries. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to meet Dave Chappelle. I would love to meet him. When I say he's a funny cat, man, and he's real, Strong. Now, where are you from, brother?
I'm from New York. I'm from New York. And DB's from Los Angeles. I'm from New York.
And you from Harlem?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Cool beat. Yeah, I lived in Harlem for a long time.
I read your bio. Yeah, DB, go ahead.
Yeah, when you say Los Angeles, you got to make sure you put the prefix on that. South Central Los Angeles.
Yeah. We know you ain't from Pasadena. Because I can hear it in your voice. I need you know what I mean? And LA is a very interesting place, man. They need to do a movie about LA in Central Avenue. I want to see that movie.
Oh my gosh, about the Black Panther Party, the music, the arts. Oh my yes.
LA has always been on a cutting edge. And for people that don't know about Central Avenue, back in the day,
it was like Harlem.
It was like Harlem. And all the white performers. In fact, it's so funny we're mentioning this. I saw a picture of Marilyn Monroe with this white dude and this black guy who they keep cutting out the picture every time they show the picture. And she was down at Central Avenue watching one of the musicians. And what happened was all the white stars would leave Sunset Boulevard after hours and come down to Central Avenue. And it started getting so popular that the white owners up on Sunset Boulevard sent the police to destroy that whole area. Is that crazy?
Wow. Yeah.
So when they tell us to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, I tell them to go to hell. And tell us we lazy. What about all the money we made y'all when y'all didn't pay us? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I don't take no shit from white people that are racist. Like, I take zero shit from them. Because I grew up in DC, and I grew up with good white folks, and I grew up with all black folks. And when I'm working, I don't play no discrimination on no level. And when I'm traveling, I told somebody I'm gonna write a book called The Last Nigger in First. Because there are times when I travel first class all my career, and I remember I was in first class one time, and I was in I fly Delta. And I come on, I got like a nice warm-up suit on, and I had $350 warm-up suit on. And white people think I'm probably a rapper or some shit, maybe a wrestler. I don't know what they thought. And I reclined my chair, and this white guy kicked my chair. Like, nigga, don't recline your chair. And I stood up and I put my finger in his face. I said, let me ask you a question. Would you have kicked my chair if I was a white boy? And they turn red and shit.
Oh yeah. How dare
I said,
you.
kick my chair again, I'm gonna bust you right in your fucking mouth. Period. Because I grew up in DC, man. I got called a nigga one time and I couldn't believe it. I told the white guy, I said, hey, it's a bunch of niggas up at the park and some white guys. Come up there and call me a nigga and see what happens. So I grew up in and I really, honestly, bro, and I'm gonna stop here. I take my hat off to Dr. King. Any one of us that did not get out and vote, and I'm not saying you guys are not disenfranchised, but I'm not going to ride with that. If we only understood, man, what these people went through to get us to vote, man, it's amazing.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Before
and then we got to talk about some
what we got
my own is Dane. What's funny actually? Read that for me.
Mr. Powell, my old man is Dane. What's funny is I actually graduated from DeMatha. Those DC Catholic basketball wars were crazy back in the day.
Yes, that's Dane Edley's son. He went to DeMatha. So anyway, man, this is heavy stuff, and the reason we talk about this for the young people is for you all to understand, man. If I talk about being an actor and doing well, I got to take my hat off to Sidney Poitier, and Halle Berry Fonte, and Sammy Davis. Mm-hmm. There's a book that you gotta read called Bright Boulevards, Bold Dreams by Donald Bogle. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you how bad it was back in the day, and I'll move on. There was a black architect that worked for Frank Sinatra. It was so bad when he came to Frank, and whenever he met other white people that Frank introduced him to, he had to stand next to them, no, across from them, because he couldn't stand next to them, and he had to draw upside down. Just let that sink in.
Wow.
He could not stand next to the white person. In Frank Sinatra's house, it's all in the book. He had to stand across from them and draw upside. Do you know what's like? Shit, I can't even write upside down.
Right. So
this is heavy stuff, man. But these are some poignant questions, man. And I think, I have hope in America again. So we'll see what happens. Let's talk about some funny stuff.
Okay.
I need another glass of sake.
DB, go ahead, man. What's up?
I love it.
You too deep, DB.
Listen. What's a dream role for you? Like a biopic of one of our iconic and historical figures that'll be a perfect fit for you. You did a great job playing Dr. King, but is there somebody else that you feel will be a perfect role for you?
Two things. I would love to play Nat Turner. When I was in high school and I was in workshop for careers in the arts, I don't think John Brown is black. I said, for real? Well, what color was he? He said he was white. He's an abolitionist. Now, to me, an abolitionist sound like a dance or like a sandwich or something. I didn't know. Because I got 580 on my, like when I do my one-man show and my lectures, I got 580 on my SATs. Now, let me help you understand. The most retarded score you can get is like 750. I got 580, and they give you 200 when you sign your name. So technically, I got 380 on my SAT. That's past retarded. No, this is not a joke. And when they said I was going to college, I'm like, where? I remember being in the 11th grade, and the counselor said, do you want to go to college? Now, you have to understand, I come out of Southeast DC, and if it wasn't for JB and my sister, man, I don't know where I would have been. And some of my angels, Daryl Harvey and his family, which I'm going to explain to you who they are later, and I had some great teachers. I was a certified retarded guy, man. I came out of the hood. I'm telling you, I took the SAT with everybody from all the thugs and killers.
Wow.
And so when I think about roles, I think so. I didn't know that Nat Turner was black. So my guy said, "Won't you do Nat Turner?" I was like, "Is he black?" He said, "Yeah, Nat black." So then I did my research. So I would love to play Nat Turner because I don't think anybody has ever. Now Nate Parker did do Nat Turner, but I like to see them capture Nat Turner the way he really was. Like
Right.
Nat Turner chopped up 62 white people. And when you say, whew, they won't show it for real.
Yeah, we need to see that, right?
We need to, because, and I'm not, I don't want y'all to call in and write in and say, Mr. Powell is advocating violence, because I'm not. But if you're a slave and you got to chop a white man's foot off to get free, then chop that Mahunchy's foot off. That's what I say. Because what's more brutal than slavery? So I've never seen a Nat Turner story told right. Well, not right, but as depicted the way it really should be. So that's a character. And then there's a book. And of course, if everybody doesn't know from the Harlem Renaissance, Richard Wright. Richard Wright has this short story called A Man Who Lived Underground. And it's about a guy that lives in the subway system. Is that crazy? And he has like a whole house pretty much set in the subway system.
Wow.
Crazy story.
Wow.
Crazy story.
Boxing Social Science says, Salute Clifton, there's a lookalike of you in Philadelphia named Jeffrey that works in the family court system.
I'm so glad Jeffrey ain't in jail, because shit, they're going to be like, that. Let's take Cliff too and see who's who, you know what I'm saying?
You mentioned some historical figures. Playing Martin Luther King, what did that teach you about a man like Malcolm X? And what didn't you know about Martin Luther King that you do now?
Man, I can't really put my fingers around what I learned about Dr. King.
Wow.
You know, there's a documentary out about Dr. King and the FBI talking about all his dalliances and all of that. And if we're gonna do him, then let's do John Kennedy. You know, let's.
It was a smear campaign, right? It was a fucking smear campaign to me.
But, you know, let me say this. Dr. King, in spite of whatever we thought he might have done, was one of the greatest men that ever lived. J. Edgar Hoover hated Dr. King. There's a documentary out called MLK / the FBI. But there's another book, that's a documentary, but you got to read this book called The FBI and Dr. King. And J. Edgar Hoover was brutal when it came to Dr. King. He followed him. And so everything that we saw about the civil rights movement was all orchestrated. If Dr. King was to be, let's say I'm Dr. King, and I say, Frederick, I'm looking forward to being out there in LA with you all next weekend, and me and Ralph Abernathy are going to be out there. And so the FBI is listening in. I will be out there, I think today is Wednesday. I'll be out there on Monday, and we'll find a way to sit down and have dinner. Well, before Dr. King could get there, the FBI would be there on Saturday. So everything that he did, every march that he marched, everything that they said he did under the table, when it came to women, they sent Coretta all kinds of lies. They set him up. If you read about it, it will make your stomach turn. And in every march, they monitored him. The FBI was always a week ahead of Dr. King. And he knew it. He knew they were going to kill him. It's just amazing. And it's all documented. Listen, that's what I love about racist white folks. They put the shit in the book for us to read.
Isn't that amazing? They give you the FBI files.
They give you the nigga, bro. Let me stop saying nigga. Nook.
Yeah.
All you got to do is do your research, man. They pulled Dr. King's security detail off at the final hour, and they interviewed those guys, and they said we don't know why they pulled us off. He wasn't supposed to be at the Lorraine Hotel. He was a motel. He's supposed to be in a back somewhere where they didn't have a direct shot on him. It was all a setup, bro. If they could kill Kennedy and Malcolm and Robert, they could kill King. So to me, in spite of what anything anybody might say about Dr. King, I think he was a great man because I can tell you, I did my research and I could have never walked in the kind of light that he walked in. He was amazing. And he walked with love and he walked with the fear of death. Not one day, every day. And then I have to take my hat off to Coretta Scott King, who was a true soldier, who held him down on every level, man, and sacrificed her whole career to be there for Dr. King, and knew all about the tapes and all the letters and all the stuff that the FBI sent her, and she did not ever waver in her support for Dr. King. And it's never been proven. I mean, I haven't seen one picture of Dr. King with a woman. Have you?
No.
The problem with black folks is they could just tell us and we like, yeah, I knew he wasn't shit. I go to my page all the time. Oh, I know Clifton Powell wasn't shit and women are loose because he looked like a predator. Nigga, I'm an actor. I'm just saying, please don't start me to talk.
Right.
So we got to stop, man. We got to stop. And whatever Dr. King did, I can hold you up 5 white boys who did the same thing. Kennedy had so many women. Man, if you read about, and he was a great man.
It got casual. It got casual at the end of the day.
Oh, man. Kennedy, soon as Jackie hit the front door,
yep,
John had women coming up the back.
Yeah.
So, and we're not throwing nobody under the bus. I'm saying Dr. King was a man. He was human. But what they did to him, bro. So anyway, what else did you ask me about? What did I learn? I learned, honestly, that I don't have that kind of, I mean, I got a lot of love in my heart, bro, but I don't know if I could have gotten hit in the head with bricks, spit on, called a nigger everywhere he went. He was hated. And some of his own people hated him. And I think the difference between him and Malcolm was, we talking about early Malcolm. No, they didn't see eye to eye. But I'm not going to step out on a limb and talk about the Nation of Islam. But there's 2 Malcolms.
Right.
The Malcolm that believed what Elijah Muhammad said until he figured out where Elijah Muhammad really was. And I'm not talking about Elijah Muhammad. Just do your research. But Malcolm went to Mecca and saw white, black, Asian, Latin men who were Muslims. And he came back with a different ideology. I don't think we can throw any stones at John F. Kennedy,
right,
Robert, Dr. King, some of the pastors in the church, black and white. Elijah Muhammad, we can't. They were men. They were human beings, and they made mistakes.
Right.
You know, but Malcolm and Dr. King never saw eye to eye. But when Malcolm came back from Mecca, they were able to sit and sup together and understand the ideological differences that they have, and they work together for the better of our oppression of African Americans. And that's all I'm gonna say, because I don't want to say anything too controversial, because I don't want any problems with you know, because I respect the, you know, Nation of Islam and what they're trying to do.
Okay, it's funny you say that, because I was about to ask a question, because I'm actually working on the project now, but we'll make an abrupt left, man. Do you
think, man, this is some heavy stuff, because when you start talking about history,
yeah,
we are all fallible.
Absolutely.
You know, if you lived in my house, when I get off, oh, Mr. Powell seems so nice, my girl said, oof, Lord have mercy.
Yes.
And there's, you know, we all have different sides to our personalities, and we're still learning and growing, and we're still understanding love and spirituality and what discipline means. And it's not easy being in the limelight.
Yes.
So I don't think I can sit here and throw any stones at anybody, because I certainly haven't been no damn angel. But all I can say is we have to try to learn and try to do better. You know, I destroyed my marriage being caught up in this business.
Yes.
Being out in the game and being promiscuous and having fun and drinking and gambling. So I certainly am not throwing any stones at Dr. King, John F. Kennedy, any politician, any pastor, Elijah Muhammad or anyone. But I'm saying that there were two Malcolms, the one that went to Mecca and the one that went before he went to Mecca. And that's where he kind of connected with Dr. King.
You know, I'll put a ribbon on it or a bow on this. I think the Nation of Islam will never become a nation until they are honest about Elijah Muhammad as it pertains to
all right, then I gotta go. I'm gonna talk to you again soon, Frederick. Look, no, you know what, bro? I hear you, and that is a hard sell.
It is a hard sell. You're right.
But because you're asking us to be, you know, to listen to the rhetoric about Dr. King and understand what he might have been doing.
Right.
And so I think there's a part of us as a people that just wants our heroes to be our heroes.
Gotcha.
And we don't want them to be, you know, flawed, because we have very few African-American men, I'm going to say, who are unflawed.
Get that.
And I think that's why we embraced Obama. And we wanted him to stay out of trouble.
Right.
And not have no interns in the White House, nothing crazy.
Right.
And we was pulling for him because there's a part of us that just needs to believe that Frederick can be a hero and not have 6 baby mamas and 2 illegitimate kids that are coming up to the station every week. But on the surface, he seems like a Krispy Kreme kind of guy.
Right.
And that's what it is. And I think it goes deeper than the Nation of Islam and, you know, wanting to deal with the true facts of what really happened, or us as a nation wanting to hear about Dr. King.
Sure.
Or any one of our leaders who didn't necessarily walk the walk and talk the talk. And I get it. And I get it. You know, I'm going to say this and we could really put a bow on it.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm a black guy, man. I come out of the inner city.
Right.
I want to be a football player. I never had any aspirations to be an actor. I thought I would, you know, after football, I really played 1 year of football. I was great in the neighborhood.
Right.
And I didn't have any aspiration. Like after football, I didn't want to be nothing.
Right.
And so people wonder, how can that be? Well, I came out of the inner city. My circle was 2 or 3 blocks long. My scope. And so I remember in 1972, this guy said, well, shit, maybe you can, bus drivers make $6.50 an hour. Right. Used to work at Kentucky Fried Chicken. I said, well, shit, I'll be the chicken man and I'll be a bus driver. And then I got into a play, and then I got into workshop, but I didn't go to workshops to be in the program. Right. One of my guys who was in the play, I just rode along with him to kind of be his protection. And they kept coming out to ask me to come in. I'm like, go ahead with that, man. I ain't with that little bull crap. Right. It's all God's work and the work of the gods and a miracle.
Right.
But if I say, when I got to Hollywood, this little black boy who didn't know nothing got caught up in the game, made a lot of money, got married, cheated every day, had a lot of women, gambled, drank, almost lost my mind, almost ruined my relationships with my kids, was homeless 5.5 years ago when I came down here to Atlanta because I hit rock bottom. So I can't go back and throw no stones at anybody because I know what I did. And I got caught up. I used to travel with 4 women. I used to juggle 8, 12, cheated every day. And I got caught up in a lifestyle. So that's why I want to do my one-man show, because I want to try to help the new millennials not make the mistakes I made. Wow. And the only thing I think saved me is I didn't do drugs. That's the only thing that saved me, man. And I've been delivered. And I said earlier, I take my hat off to Bounce TV and Eric Thomas-Sunis, some of my close personal friends, because when I hit rock bottom, I lost all the people in 89 that I thought would hold me down from 89 to the end of my life, including one of my sons. Wow. It's a hell of a journey, bro. And you talking to a Negro who went through it. This ain't no bull crap. So I don't think I have the right to throw any kind of, I don't want to say shade, but not understand what it means to be in power and manage power,
right,
and have the discipline to resist the flesh and all the stuff that comes along with that stuff.
right.
And that's what we're dealing with when we start talking about President Kennedy,
Mm-hmm.
or Frank Sinatra,
Right,
or Sammy Davis,
right.
or Malcolm X, or Malcolm before he became Malcolm X was no joke.
Was a monster.
Or Dr. King, or Elijah Muhammad, or any man of power.
Sure.
It's hard, man. It's such
I get
lines between them. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
understand.
it's a lot, bro. That's all I can say. And I gotta tell you, man, this is one of the. I've been doing interviews all my career. This is one of the heaviest interviews I've ever done in my life, bro. I didn't know. Shucks. I would have got me some Hennessy instead of some socks.
I would have sent it to you, man.
We need these kind of conversations, man, because people see me, they don't know my journey.
Right.
But I can tell you I lived it, and all I can say is you got to try to learn from it. That's all I can say.
Right. DB started this. DB, go ahead.
Damn it, DB.
Yeah,
how much time you have left? How much time you have left? How much time you got?
You talking to me?
Yes. How much time you got?
Yeah, I got about 15 minutes.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you. Go ahead. So the fans know.
Yeah, we lost 3 more soldiers a couple of months ago. Have you ever met or worked with Chadwick Boseman? And also, how did his transition affect you?
I never worked with Chadwick. I'm just first of all, we gotta take our hats off to Denzel Washington, who's the king. He supported this young man in college, and which I didn't know.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow, amazing. I thought the young brother was an amazing actor. I thought he just, when I saw him as Jackie Robinson, when I saw him in the James Brown, so I just thought he was an amazing actor. Of course, Panther. He was an amazing actor, and it's just a tragic loss. I'm an artist first, African-American artist, and I love artists, man. I love actors and musicians and writers and all the entertaining people, the stuff that you guys do. And it's a loss for our community, But, this life is not promised, man. And you just gotta live every day. And then I read articles where people were, no, he's losing weight, he must be on crack. I'm gonna say this again, man. And I know y'all think y'all can call in, you can write in. Well, Mr. Powell better watch himself, talking about a lot. Don't misquote me. I said anything about Elijah Muhammad. Do your research. That's all I tell you to do. When you hear what I said about Spike Lee, do your research. Now, I commend Spike because he went to talk to Tyler. But I'm always going to say, as a black man, I can't sit here and throw another black man under the bus. Not going to do that. Do your research, on Dr. King. Do your research on John Kennedy. And I will say all men of power are flawed. And it's a level of discipline. I think I'm a great father. I don't know if I think I'm a great actor. I know I'm not Denzel Washington, but I think I've left some memorable roles behind. But I'm a flawed person. And every day I wake up and try to do better. So I take my hat off to that young brother. He left us a legacy, man. What a great loss, man. An amazing loss.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you this. Have you ever turned down a role because it didn't align with your morals or because you felt like it would potentially compromise your integrity?
Man, have you been talking to these other interviewers or something?
No, that's funny you say that. I got that in my notes.
Somebody asked me that question the other day. So early on in my career, I got cast in a show called Simon on the WB, I think it was the WB network. And I was excited because, I've done a lot of TV series, and other than Saints and Sinners, I've had maybe 5 or 6 TV series, and they've only gone 7 episodes.
Wow. So
what happens is, it's a long story. I'm gonna try to make it as short as possible. When you first start, man, and you go up for a TV series back in my day, your manager calls it, hey, Cliff, say, hey, Mike, listen, they bring you to network. And you're like, okay, now you poor as hell. They're bringing you to network. And what they're offering you is $35,000 a week. And you just start to get gassy.
Yeah.
No, for real. You get gassy.
Oh, what's the-
And then you say 35,000, that's for 1 week. No, he said that's for like 13 weeks. But if it gets picked up, it could go 22 weeks. So right away, you on your calculating going, shit, that's almost $450,000. So when you go into the room in this big network off building with this big ass conference room with 25 other actors that are pacing like they're at the maternity ward, it is pressure like you've never felt. And they take 3 characters for each role. So you might go in, my man might go in, and I might go in. We all look totally different. And you got to go in there and not nail it, but you got to hit a grand slam, especially as black as I am.
Right.
And so when that happens, man, you're like, what in the hell is going on? And then you start getting those first checks and you really think you've arrived. Wow. So when they called me for Simon, they were like, you may not have to go through that whole process because they really want you. So when I got there, my first day of rehearsal, it was set in Harlem. And it was about these 2 white boys, Jason Bateman and this guy named Harlan Williams, who I thought was going to be a star, who I'm not exactly sure what happened to him. And I was playing a portrait painter who had just got released from prison. That's what they told me, a portrait painter. And I was kind of like the guy around the building in New York. You know, it's hard to find an apartment. So I'm the guy that can, you know, New York, bruh, Frederick. So I'm the kind of guy that can help you get in. So the first scene is Harlan and Jason Bateman coming into the apartment, and on the floor, they got an outline of a body, and then they got police tape around the perimeter. Mm-hmm. So I come in with a pea coat on and a black cap, looking like a thug. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yo, what's up, big homie? Y'all doing good? And Harlan right away jumps back. Oh my God. So they automatically think I'm trying to rob them, which I didn't read that in the script. So I said, hey man, I'm here. I help you get in the building. So Harlan hands me the check and Jason Bateman snatches it back and say, hey man, you don't know this guy. Like I'm a robber. So that kind of threw me off. So the next scene, the director comes over to me and I'm showing these guys the building, the apartment, right? So she comes over, she said, hey, Cliff, what is this lady's name? Ellen, I can't remember her name. She says, hey, can I have a talk with you? I'm like, okay. She says, when you come in, we're going to do this again. But I think, Danny, when you come in, he wants you to case the joint. I said, what? She said, yeah. When you come in to introduce yourself to them, you're kind of like casing the joint. I'm like, that don't feel right, Ellen, because if I just got out of jail and I'm a portrait painter out on the streets, why in the hell am I casing the joint to go back to damn jail? She said, I don't know, but that's what Danny told you to do. I said, well, I'm not feeling that, Ellen. That sounds real different to me. So she says, well, you know, Cliff, you can do the scene or you can go home and Danny will call you. I said, well, I think I'm gonna go home. So I went home and this was like a Friday. So wow. I called one of my guys who kind of like helped me understand what I got myself into in Hollywood, right? So I said, listen, bro, I got a feeling they're gonna call me over the weekend. Oh, he said, shit, nigga, they definitely gonna call you. So, you know, it's a call that you're thinking, you know, we can resolve this, you know, with a little talking. So Saturday evening, my phone rings. And I said, hi, this is Cliff. Hi, Cliff. And they, white. What I love about white people, they like the mob. They don't tell you they about to kill you. Hey, Cliff. Hey, look, we're going over Paulie's house, and we're gonna have some wine and some champagne and everything. You're gonna get made, dude. Oh my God, I'm gonna get made. And then you walk in the room and they shoot your punk ass. So Ellen says, hey, Cliff, hi. Hope you're having a great weekend. And I'm like, okay, Ellen, what's up? Well, Danny wants to meet with you on Monday. So I said, okay. So I knew what I was going to do. My guy said, you got to hold your ground, but don't be confrontational. So I went in. First thing I said to Danny Jacobson, who's a big white boy who had all the big shows back in the day. And I said, Danny, first of all, I don't want this to be confrontational, and I don't want to cause any trouble here, but I just want to try to understand where we're going with this character. He said, what do you mean, where are we going? I said, well, Danny, the guy just got out of jail, and now you're asking me to walk in like I'm gonna rob the place. That doesn't make sense. I mean, I did 5-10 years in jail. I'm not trying to go you know, most black people don't want to go back to jail.
Right.
So he turned red, dude. And he looked me right in my face. And before he did, I started telling him about the Harlem Renaissance.
Wow.
And Langston Hughes and Conte Cullen and all of the wonderful literature and culture and art that happened. He never heard of it. I said, you ever heard of Sugar Hill? The poem and the area? It's like Central Avenue back in the day. Harlem may not be as historical as it used to be, but it's still a lot of history in Harlem.
Right.
And I said, I was doing a movie in Harlem, in New York, called Dead Presidents. And I was staying on East 48th Street in a very 5-star, ritzy, sparkling hotel. And I got money in my pocket. And I tried to get a cab to go up to Harlem to get me some crabs. And them niggas wouldn't pick me up for 2 hours. Wow. I had to call a car service. So I said to Danny, I told him the story. I said, so you asking me to sit here as a black man and make fun of Harlem? I said, I can't do that. Wow. He turned white and red and orange all in one time. And I stopped here and he looked me right in my face. He said, I bet you if this was a William Friedkin film, I bet you would do it. Now, let me just tell you who William Friedkin is. He directed The Exorcist. And I looked at Danny Jacobson and I said, I bet you I wouldn't. And he looked me right in the eye. He said, well, this meeting is over. And I said, great. And I walked out and they fired my ass before I even got home. Wow. And the next day I read in Ebony Teen that Clifton Powell was playing a neighborhood coon on a new show called Simon. And I walked away from the show. But I had what you call a play deal, so they still had to pay me my $70,000. Wow, but let me just tell you the last part of it. Please. Every time I came to pick up my check, the writers were out on the stoop. They ran inside when they saw me. And I wanted to say, y'all must don't know black folk. If a black man can get $70,000 without having to go to work in an oppressive environment and get a goddamn check, that's a happy black man right there. I used to skip and get my check. So these are stories, guys, that I don't talk about. You know, I got blocked on a show, and I'm not going to say the name. The networks told the producers they thought I was so black I was going to scare everybody. And the producers, this was back in the 90s, producers said, white producer, black producer, and they said, we're doing everything we can to hire you, but the networks are just scared of you. And it was tragic. So a lot of times people come up to me and say, man, you should have been bigger than you are. And I'm like, I'm gonna tell you one thing, they're not gonna take my soul in Hollywood. So they never did. So I'm honored and I'm proud of that. And I'm so happy to see the landscape that I'm seeing now. It's an amazing thing. So that's my coon story.
Man, that's not a cool story. That's a character story, you know, by far. And I had a conversation with Denzel one time only. So, you know my name, and we were at the Pan African Film Festival, which you've been there probably quite a few times.
Yeah.
And he says, you know, there's one thing I will never ever do. He says, you will never ever see me in a dress.
Right.
And that leads me to ask you, like, what won't you do, and what do they do to like emasculate the black man?
Man, where you guys, deep, man. Well, let me say this. I did a play once, and because I'm so damn crazy, I did a spoof and I played Diana Ross, and the shit was so funny.
Yeah.
But it was a play, and I knew 1 billion people wouldn't see that shit. I've done spoofs where early on in my career, I did a spoof with George Wallace had a show that was about to get picked up, and I did a spoof as this gay guy, but I'm not kissing no guy. I'll make fun, and I had fun doing it. I auditioned for this Army piece, and I had to play a gay guy, and they wanted me to hug on a guy and kiss. I couldn't do it. So that's why I draw the line for myself. You know, I might do a spoof. You might see me, oh, hey, girl, how you doing? Hey. You know, I mean, because I'm a character actor. I can't do it, you know, and I don't knock actors who do. You know, I'm not going to play anything that I think just brings the race down to a point where y'all just start hating my ass more than they do now.
Right.
That's just a choice I make, man. But, you know, a lot of actors look at characters as part of their job. And I think, we don't have a problem with telling sisters to take their clothes off and do crazy stuff. But when it comes to men, there's a double standard. I don't pressure no woman to do anything that's not comfortable for her. And I think you have to find your comfort zone. And some people make fun of you and say, well, you in the closet or you scared. I stay in here then. Because I'm not kissing no Negroes. I ain't no guys kissing me. You're not touching all on me. It's just not going to happen for me. I can't talk about other guys, but I can just say for me, and I'm not going to do anything, and a lot of times when people are like, well, you play a drug, then you play this. These are characters, man. And hopefully, even with saints and sinners, hopefully these characters have some redeeming qualities, but I'm not, there's certain things I'm just not doing. And that's just me.
Yeah. Before I pass off to DB, what encouraging words would you give to Nick Cannon? Because there was a headline that said they're giving him his show back. How would you encourage him?
Well, when Nick first got into that controversy, I sent him a DM. I love Nick Cannon. I saw him when he first started as a teenager, man. I knew he was going to be huge. It's a thin line, man. We walk a thin line.
Right.
You got to be careful when you start talking about the Holocaust. It's like you got to be careful when you start talking about the Black Muslims.
Right.
You got to be careful when you start talking about Dr. King.
Right.
You got to be careful when you start talking about the mafia.
Right.
You got to be careful when you start talking about certain people in this business.
Right.
It's a thin line, bro. And I learned it when I said something about Spike Lee. Niggas called me talking about you C-list ass, no acting ass nigga. You ain't never done shit. And I mean, I got a lot of backlash. And I was really literally telling the truth, because if we could get Spike on here, he'll tell you. But he had to grow from that. And I commend Spike Lee because he went to Tyler Perry like a man. And all I really was saying is, as African-American men or women, we cannot go to the crossover press and dog and throw another Black man or woman under the bus. We can't do it. At least for my era, that's how I was raised.
Got that.
So I think we have to be careful. And so I think Nick learned that you got to be careful. You can't just spew out things. And I think he recovered. And he did what he was supposed to do. He became more sensitive to the plight of what Jews have been through. I don't think, only other than slavery, I don't think there's anything worse than the Holocaust. If you saw Schindler's List, I mean, I don't think anything compares to slavery. I don't care what nobody say. I made a post, and one Negro came to my page and said, well, Africans enslaved Black people. Yeah, they did. But they got brainwashed too. You know what I'm saying? And then there was slavery in Africa and different countries where you trade people, but it wasn't this brutal caste system of slavery that African Americans and our ancestors knew in this country. Not letting Africans off the hook. I ain't letting nobody off the hook that perpetrated slavery. But I know what happened to my forefathers. I don't have a history and knowledge of all the stuff that went on in Africa before slavery came. Right. But I know that it was not as brutal as the caste system that we saw. Right. And so I'm happy for Nick. He's somebody I love and care about as a person.
Right.
And I think it's important for us to be sensitive about African-American issues, but we also have to understand, we got to be sensitive about other issues too. They just shot an Asian kid, I think, somewhere. I love Asian people, man. I eat more Chinese food than any nigga you know.
Well, you did spend some time in New York, so.
You take my wonton shits from me, man, I'd be mad as hell. Because a lot of times you look in a Black neighborhood, it ain't but nothing but one Chinese food right on green decal, man. What? No, I'm saying your cleaners, your certain places we've been to, and I'm making a joke, but we gotta learn to respect each other. And I think Nick learned that. I think Nick learned that. That's what I think he learned. And they were able, and I commend them for sitting back down at the table with Nick.
Right. Okay.
That's a good thing. What do you think about it?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I thought that when he said you can't fire a boss, I thought he should have galvanized his resources like you. So let's say hypothetically, LeBron James is an ally, Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, and he says, you know what? They're trying to blackball me. Can we form Voltron? Can you help me form Voltron and take down this monster and humble them to a certain level where I don't believe in equality. I believe in equity. Give me my shit back. Give me my Wild and Out show, and I'm going to take it to Revolt, or I'm going to, because if LeBron James does it, guess what? His allies do it. If Jay-Z says yes, his allies does it. And now Viacom has a meteor-sized problem on their hands that's costing them millions of dollars a day.
And what is that?
The fact that their audience is gone. And similar to the NFL, ratings drop. And that's what I had to learn. It's not about the talent, it's about ratings. You know, and I think that if he could have took a step back for one day, because remember, it was all in 24 hours. It wasn't like if he would have sat back for a day, 2 days, 3 days, and breathe for a while. Maybe he has an experienced man like you calling him, maybe someone who's actually doing business with him, and say, you know what, let's see how far we can get together first.
Yeah, you know, and listen, bro, I'm not going to sit here on this phone and dispute you, but there's so many levels to this shit that your advisors, who, like, my manager is white, man. This guy knows everything about my life.
I bet.
You know, a couple of my friends are African American brothers who advise me. Your agents, your lawyers, a lot of times they're white, and they're saying, "Hey, Nick, come on, man. I mean, really, let's find an olive branch here, and it's really." And I get it, man. I call my manager sometimes, and I'm livid, and he says, "Cliff, you just can't do it that way." Now, are you right? Do you think we should pull out of the NFL? Sometimes I feel like we should, and let's just see what they do. Because we need some more black coaches. We need some owners. And it's a 97% African American or so.
Something.
But man, to be a revolutionary in the 2011, it's just not going to happen. People want to feed their families.
I get that.
You know, people, and so there's no right or wrong. It's like
perspective.
It's just perspective on. And it ain't your fight. It's Nick's fight. It's like what I learned about this whole thing when I said something about Spike Lee. Nigga, I lost so much work, and niggas that knew I was right, didn't nobody come. Maybe one guy heard Charles Dutton say, "Man, Cliff Powell was telling the truth." Ain't nobody, man. This shit ain't the '60s, man.
Did y'all ever?
And I know that sound like. Listen, I'm a conservative. I got a family to feed. I got bills to pay. Now, does that put me in a system? To a certain extent, we all in that system. And it's a lot of, and then I think you had to make some hard choices.
Absolutely.
Some people might have said, why'd you walk away from that show, man? That thing got it picked up 10 years. You might have stuck in there. You've been able to make some changes, become one of the producers. Maybe. So I think it becomes an individual choice. And whatever they decide to do, I try to be, if it's my friend, I try to be supportive.
Have you and Spike spoke and or made up since?
No. It ain't nothing for me to make up with Spike. I don't have no animosity towards Spike. I'm not going to ever agree. I don't give a damn if it was my son or my daughter. I'm never going to agree with a black man throwing another black man under the bus in front of white people.
I love that.
Especially a hostile white press. Not doing it. And so it's nothing to make up with Spike. I don't dislike Spike. I said I'd beat his ass. And, you know, I probably was just joking. I was joking around, really. You know what I mean? I was just joking. And then I had to go with it because Negroes start calling in. I'm 65. I don't. Spike has got to be up there. If I had to really, literally fight Spike, if it goes more than 3 rounds, Spike could probably get me, man, because I'm gonna be asleep because I'm out of shape. But I do commend him because I did run into Tyler Perry and had a chance to talk to him, and he said Spike reached out and they had a chance to talk. If that's what came out of me making that comment, then that's a plus,
right?
Because at the end of the day, I would love to see my friend Monique find a way to mend the bridges.
Right.
You know, I love Monique, you know. And And we can't say they're right and she's wrong, or she's wrong and they're right. I don't think nobody knows unless somebody live at your. Are you married, Frederick?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Let's say yes. Yes.
Okay. So nobody know what the hell going on in your house unless they live at your house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I err on a side of reconciliation and trying to find a way to work things out. And if I could go back and take that statement back that I made in a general public that went viral about Spike, I would take it back. And what I should have done is reached out to him and had a meeting with him. So I've learned and I've grown from that. And I hope, I don't know if he hears it, as people hear it. I don't have no animosity towards Spike. I'm so happy that he reached out to Tyler. I think we all got to stop worried about white people, and we got to do better with each other. And that's where it's got to start. And it's some hard choices. So the choice you might make is not the same choice Nick might make, you know?
Right.
It's real weird, man, on the next level with Nick and, you know, where I am and you are and above. It's different, man. And we can make it think it's black and white, but it's black, white, gray, green, and orange.
DB, Clifton want to stay a while. We're gonna get him out of here, man. Last question, man.
All right. Well, I'm gonna ask one last.
Man, I'm gonna say this, bro. I have never in my history of my career had this kind of conversations. We just touched on some really heavy stuff.
Maybe anything in a barbershop.
Oh, wait, before you ask the question, man, we got people in the chat. Gregory X, that was a pleasant way to describe a butt broken man's Copa.
He talking about how I broke down Nick Cannon?
I assume so, yeah, because I missed. And then there was another super chat that said, "Want you to play Chuck Berry."
Oh, okay. Chuck Berry. That's not. I can't play Chuck Berry. I'm not gonna do all that damn movement.
Okay, yeah.
I'm out of shape. If they give me a body double,
Mm-hmm.
they asked me to come in and direct the James Brown, the play version. And at some point they were talking about it. And I thought I wanted to bring in Johnny Gill to play James Brown, man. He would have killed it.
Yeah.
You know, listen, man, you know, for the brother who just made that comment, I understand. But when you live on the next level, bro, I'm not saying where you live and what you do. I don't have the right to tell Nick Cannon what to do, and neither do you. You know, it's a lot of stands that I'd like to see us take in this country that I can't talk about on the air. You know, but it's a game, bro, and it's a hustle game, and I don't think I have the right to sit on TV or on a Zoom call and air how I feel about Nick Cannon and the deals that he's making. Right. Because I don't live in his house, I don't feed his kids, and I just know what I've been through. And I think the public, as much as you guys hold me in reverence, it's a billion black people who think I ain't shit. And it's hard, bro. So sometimes you feel like you're on an island all by yourself. So anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They said Chuck Brown, not Chuck Berry. Chuck Brown.
Both of them Negroes jumped around. None of them dancing Negroes. None of them singing Negroes.
Yeah.
Let me do a pastor and I can do a sermon. Let me play Daddy Grace of one of them Negroes, you know. I'm joking. Go ahead, DB. What's your question?
Yeah. All right. So in your world as an actor, is the Hollywood Walk of Fame and the Academy Awards, is that the highest form of gratitude and recognition? And also, is that something that you chase?
No, I don't chase nothing. I chase doing good work. And I chase making black people proud. They're not gonna give a nigga like me an award. I'm too black and too strong, and you know, they don't necessarily recognize my work in Hollywood on that level. But I never did it for that, man. I again, bro, you know what really was on my bucket list? I want to run back a punt for the Washington Redskins, and then maybe somebody hit me and knock my Adam's apple out through my goddamn back of my neck, and I will be fulfilled, because all I wanted to do was be a football player. So I never really worry about accolades in this business, as long as my check clears, and I never really work for the money. You know, I take pride now that I'm in the business and I love the arts. I take pride in the work that I do. It's not everybody wants to be recognized for what they do, but if you really want to understand politics, the Oscar is what we consider the kiss of death. Because a lot of times when you get the Oscar, you at the top of the heap and there's no place to go but down. So a lot of actors who've gotten the Oscar, and I'm not going to name all of them, their careers have gone downhill. The best place, I heard Kevin Bacon said, the best place to be in Hollywood is in the middle. Because it's lonely at the top. So, you know, once you get to the top, there's nowhere to go. So I didn't start out, as long as Black people give me respect, and 90, I would say 98% of the Black people that I run into give me a lot of love and respect, man. That brings warmth to my heart.
Man, Saints and Sinners, man, on Bounce TV, man.
Yes, sir.
Judgment,
Judgment, Saints and Sinners Judgment movie is coming out February 14th, Valentine's Day. Go ahead, bro. Take it away, Frederick.
No, I just want to say thank you for coming in. We will be tuned in. You got thousands of people live in the chat. I should have told you that the chat was
really.
See where?
How y'all doing?
Oh, you getting thousands of comments, and it's on the where it says live chat or comments, live comments.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you, and our producer PPD just wants she wants a shout out, man. She's a big fan of yours.
Hey there, darling. How you doing? Hey, I just didn't make my hair so fat. I'm gonna put a hat on next time. I gotta say, man, this has been one of the most important conversations I've ever had, man, and it's quite controversial. So I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of comments. Nobody from the Nation of Islam, please do not DM me and drag me.
DM me.
DM Frederick. I didn't throw anybody under the bus. All I tell, you know what I tell people? Do your research.
Do your research.
Find the truth for yourself. Because we all human, make mistakes. Man, I'm in a relationship, and I can tell you, my girl has taught me how to be in love, man. I've been apologizing all the whole damn pandemic.
Wow.
And you know, I never imagined that I didn't know what I was doing when it came to love. So I don't think we have the right to throw anybody under the bus. I think before you throw somebody under the bus, do your research.
Nah, you absolutely right. And I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No,
I would say, speaking of relationships, honesty is the best policy, man. And you get everything you want out of it. You know what I mean? You
talking about marriage?
Yeah, with the woman. Yeah, with the woman.
Oh, okay.
When you're honest with what your needs are and your wants are, you ain't lying, you ain't cheating, it becomes the most fertile land in the world. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Okay, well, I don't know if I'm a second that on here because let me just say this, man. It's really interesting point you just made. A lot of what African American men, I think, and I say to my girl all the time, we didn't see good marriage. Slavery did a lot of things to us, man. They broke the family apart. They tore the fathers out of the homes. You know, there's a lot of drug abuse, alcoholism, direct correlation. I saw one psychiatrist said, we are still suffering from 400 years of PTSD from slavery. So when you go into a love relationship with a boss and you're not bossed up, man. And so when you come out of the hood, if I tell you what a guy told me in the hood, how to be in love, he said, whatever you do, don't trust no beat. That's all I learned about life and about love.
Wow.
Because when you grow up in a hood, man, it ain't like growing up the way, you know, middle-class Black people grow up or upper middle-class Black people. And you can be educated. Like my girl looks at me, she's like, you 64 and you still don't know what the hell you doing about love? And I'm like, no, I don't. Wow. So part of what you learn in the streets is not to be clear, not to be honest, you know, play that game.
Right.
You know, and get what you can get and juggle 3 or 4 different women and spread your seed around, whatever that is. That's how I came up. And then when you meet a boss, like your wife sounds like a boss, then you got to shed all of that. And it takes time for women to be patient with you if you are aware and if they make you aware. When you're an entertainer, and this is some deep stuff. Maybe we'll save this for the next time.
Yeah, please come back. Please come back.
When you began to make it in this business, the people that you meet, for the most part, don't give less than a damn about you.
Right.
So you'll meet women that will hang out with you, hang out at your parties, hang out at your house, have sex, do all of that, but they don't really care about you. So when you hit rock bottom, they're gone, but they don't hold you accountable. So if you call and you get a call at their house and you go in the bathroom talking on the phone, they be like, that's what that nigga do.
Right.
But when you with a boss, she gonna hold you accountable. So that's what I'm going through. I never knew that I was so far off until I met a boss.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize with my childhood and seeing broken marriages and violence and some of the things that I saw coming up and not parents. I met the girl that I'm dating is the first girl I've ever met that's got a great relationship with her father, that actually respects men enough not to go toe to toe with and be all up in my face. And Black women are damaged too. So that's another whole area that men like me who come out of the hood have to learn how to be honest and transparent.
Yeah.
And trust the bee. And it's so layered. So that's why I try not to make any blanket statements, you know, because you know, I live it. Half the stuff we're talking about, I've lived through.
Yeah. Ain't no such thing as lying and cheating when you're honest. You know what I mean? And we got to have this conversation the next time you come in, because I've been trying to tell these guys for so long about, like, women respect the man. They know they're in a relationship with the man, so you can be the man. You understand? Whether you aspire to make $1 million or whether you aspire to have 1 million women. You understand? I think, like, that's the emboldeness of a man. That's the pedigree of a man. But we get so compromised because we so used to making these social emotional deals, these financial deals, that we think we got to barter everything when we could just stand firm and be like, hey, I'm a nigga. You know what I mean? I don't believe, well, I'm just saying, I don't believe in your Jesus. I believe in my Jesus. I believe in polygamy. I believe in monogamy. You know, I can't wait to have this conversation with you next time you come back.
We gonna you gonna fuck around and get me assassinated.
Me too.
No, listen, man. I admire you. How old are you, Frederick?
43.
Okay. And I admire you for standing in your truth, man. And you know what I'll say before closing? Everybody I told somebody in the last interview, everybody gotta find that battlefield.
Right.
And yours is being a happy married man with a queen, and you're gonna be focused on her and resist all the temptation and, you know, make your money and go home. It's a lot of levels to all of it. And then a lot of us then grow up seeing happy marriages. A lot of our parents had to go through the oppression and breaking up the family. You know, it's a lot of levels to all of this, that it's not just one compact answer. You know, there are levels to it, and we have to look at it from a female perspective, from a male perspective, from Black perspective, white perspective, but African American perspective of how was our childhoods.
Right.
You know, how were our parents' childhoods? What did they leave and what they teach you? So you can teach your children how to be better husbands and fathers because you're being a better husband and father. And that's what we got to continue to do in each generation. I think my younger kids will have a better chance at love than I did because I try to create a loving environment, although I got caught up in the business.
Right.
And I got divorced. They never saw me put my hands on my ex-wife. You know, I saw my father when he drank, he hit women. You know, I'm not ashamed to say that, but I also know what he came out of. So I think if we ever come back and have this conversation, we should bring a psychiatrist on so we can really talk about some of the mental and spiritual things that people go through, because all of us probably need counseling.
Nah, let's absolutely do it. And we got to read the super chats before we get out of here, man. Welcome to the shop. Clifton, my son's mother is your cousin. Dennis Hampton, me and my son were watching right now. Can you touch on how important reading is?
Reading?
Probably
Denise Hampton.
Okay. How important reading is, somebody said?
Yeah. And he says, my son's mother is your cousin, Denise Hampton.
Okay. Tell him I said hello.
Uh-huh.
I can't see nobody's faces. So did you ask me how important reading is?
How important reading is, and I'll let you answer all these together. Clifton Powell, you're a legend in my eyes. Salute. And is that it? Dre's Finest, another great show. And Patty, thanks, King. True thespian. And that's it. So yeah, reading and your salutation.
Okay. So you know, back in the day, long time ago, you could get killed for reading a book.
Wow.
Back in slavery days, you could get killed for reading a book. So if you can get a chance to read a book, learn to write, but learn to read, man, it's reading expands your horizons, it expands your vocabulary, it expands your knowledge, and it takes you out of your own world. It's a great stress reliever. You know, so I tell all young people, read as much as you can, because there was a time, just like voting, when we couldn't vote. So by all means, read. And I read a lot. I don't read as much as I used to, but I just grabbed all of my books and took them back out because, you know, during the pandemic, it's a great time to be able to do some of the things that you never had a chance to do.
Right.
So let me say in closing, man, this has been amazing.
Wow.
You know, everybody out there, please go watch Judgment, the Saints and Sinners movie, February 14th, Valentine's Day. It is an amazing show. And it's going to bridge the gap between season 4 and season 5. Vanessa Bell Calloway and myself star, along with Christian Keys and Jasmine Burke, Trey Chaney. It's a great piece. And then go watch Saints and Sinners season 5 and make that a hit so we can do season 6 and 7 and 8, 9, and 10.
Get that
and thank you all for supporting everything that I've done. Please don't misquote me and take anything I said out of context.
Oh, don't
Don't
worry.
DM me. Stop sending me all these crazy, and do your research about my career and know that I play doctors, lawyers, pastors, gangsters, you know, police. What else can I play? Shop owners and fathers and grandfathers, and just do your research and give us the same kind of honor that you give Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. Give it to me and Vanessa Bell Calloway and Viola Davis and Keith David and all the actors, Taraji Henson, you know, all of us Charles Dutton, who trained, Angela Bassett, who trained to be the best that we can.
Right.
Thank you so much. Everybody stay safe out there, wear your mask, and stop getting mad. People ask you to wear your mask. A guy wanted to fight me last week because I asked him to put a mask on. You know, we just trying to get out of this pandemic, man, because black people trying to get that paper.
Right.
People are dying out here. So God bless everybody. My man, Frederick, DB, is that DB? What that stand for?
Yeah, Del Negro Boxing.
I got you, my brother. Listen, we really should come back and talk about relationships, man. It would be really interesting.
Let's do it, because I got a unique one, and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
We're gonna leave that as a teaser. And
I ain't mad at you. I kind of understand what you're saying.
If you want to go deep, you go deep. But you know,
no, I ain't mad at you. I don't want to go much deeper than we went today.
We'll go. Anyways, man, appreciate.
Hey, man, thank you guys so much, man. I'm gonna tell you from the bottom, man. This has been so poignant. So God bless you guys. Stay safe, and I love everybody. And holler at all my people in New York, baby.
Appreciate you, big homie. Thank you, man. What's up, man? What's up? How was that? How was that?
Damn, man, it ain't enough time, boy. I tell you.
Yeah, he stayed 45 minutes longer than he was supposed to.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, once you start cooking,
shit,
man.
You know what? Yeah. I would love to have Dre come in on that conversation, man. I don't know if y'all ready to have that conversation. I don't think y'all mature enough to have these type of conversations, man. Shit, because me and Dre get to cooking, y'all gonna be like, what? You know what I mean? Teamwork make the dream work, man. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, it's
fire.
Yeah.
Peoples Hernandez, you got to drop 5.5 for that one. Come on.
Oh man, you know what I mean? So yeah, man.
Hey, yeah, I think we ended up missing the super chat.
I missed one.
No, SSCs. Or no, what he was trying to say was his son is, I believe, he's going into acting.
Mm-hmm.
So he was saying how important is reading for an actor.
Oh.
But when we'll get him back in the shop.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get it. But yeah, I have some other questions too. I know dudes from the DMV, they rep hard. So I wanted to ask him about Tank and Gary Russell Jr.
We didn't even talk about boxing, though. He loves boxing. God damn. Damn, man.
But he's Dr. Inky's cousin too. So
he is. Oh yeah, isn't he, dog? Isn't he? He got real comfortable. He got real comfortable after the because he's like, okay, I can be black, but now I got to measure how far I want to go. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know. And then he got comfortable. He got comfortable. He got real comfortable, man. And yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. And yeah, man, it's just important that I want. You know what? Maybe we should bring on an expert and have these conversations about relationships, because I think it's important. Like, because we've been so constructed and wired to have relationships about like it's square, it's four corners in a relationship, when you really, your relationship is you can create anything you want. And me and Reggie Owens have this similar thing about owning people. I think when we talk about relationships, it shouldn't be from an ownership perspective, because that person is a human being, and when you can understand that they have singular human experiences without you, you understand what I'm saying? Like, say for example, let's just keep it simple. We ain't got to talk about sex and all. You want a second job, but what about my time? No, I really want to be an artist, so I want to take this part-time job at this art school. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So we'll definitely come back. I would love to have Clifton Powell, the great Clifton Powell, on, and you know what I mean, maybe have a woman on, have DB come on, the person, and then we'll just rock out. You know what I mean? Dre's a doctor, have her come on as a doctor. You know what I mean? And we'll just have a great time. You know.
Yeah, and one of my peoples is a doctor too, so you know what I mean. Yeah. Bring her on too.
Yeah, man, because because I hold back sometimes, because it's no checks and balances when I'm just talking by myself. You understand? So what I mean by that is, like, it's not another side of the coin. So y'all either gonna think Fred is crazy, or y'all gonna think Fred a wild child, or Fred is normal. You know what I mean? So I like that checks and balances, because I think it's cool. You know what I mean? And I also think that learning the laws too, learning the laws and which you and where you reside. But anyways, man, we coming back, and yes, we got a show tonight at 9:00, man. Jamal Charlo said he's not going up to 168. He's a 160 pounder. So
yeah, hey, we got a lot to talk about. I know some of the people in the Midwest and on the East Coast got a chance to tune in before they went to sleep.
Yeah,
but, man, hopefully
we had a whole bunch of new names in here. A whole bunch of new names. I'm just gonna group them all together, DB. How about that?
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. And shout out to PPD, man. Appreciate you putting this together. PPD worked hard on this one. PPD worked exceptionally.
Shout out to the Queen Patty Dean for making it work, man.
Worked exceptionally hard on this one. And yeah. So
let's roll it up and wrap it up. Jaquan Pickett in the building. Rob G Film. D Will. Let me see. Got Dre Finest in the building. D Dub in here. Mr. Vegas in the house, Cletus, all them Texas boys in there, Rob G Film, my cousin Eric R in the building. The Architect 1 came out today. Salute to my bro. Danny the Great, we see you. He said, to your female, right on. Sherman Callahan, been in the chat, getting busy. Henzo Patterson, we see you in here. Let's see. We got Dave Jack from the 313 in the building. The Queen Patty Dean. Michael James, 616 even came out today. He said, fire show today. Salute to you. Brother Picasso in the building. SSCs. I mean, we got Texas, Chicago, Arizona. They all in the house. South Central Zone. Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. Reggie probably going to do some reading in the next 30 minutes.
Chapter 87.
Chapter 87 with Reggie Owens. That's right. Jay Fan in the building, too. Phantom Brawler. What up with you, fam?
Smash that like button.
Kenlon Jones in the building. Smash the like button. Kenlon Jones. Let's see. Who else we got? Big Tank, the Sweet Science Examiners. Salute to Big Tank, and go sub to his channel too. My cousin Big Lloyd and Jarvis in the building. Let's see who else we got, man. Let me see. Boxing Social Network in the building. Detroit, BC. Woo, man. Timmy Diamonds. What up, Timmy Diamonds? I ain't seen you in a minute.
Larry Flint just died. Larry Flint just died.
Damn.
Yeah, Larry Flint just passed away.
Yeah. Well, shit. We lost our brother also Arrogant Lando yesterday. I mean, you know what? So that's what we focused on. But
absolutely.
Peace to Larry Flint though.
Have you spoke to the family? Spoke to the family?
Yeah, I did. Okay.
You
know, one thing I can't say real quick about Larry Flint, man. When I was at UCLA, I was a waiter, and he used to come into the restaurant, and he only wanted to sit in my section.
Trying to hire
He
you.
dealt with like 2 or 3 other people before, and he didn't want to sit in a section no more. He only wanted to fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And he had a big ass party. So, I was always getting a big tip from dude. You know what I'm saying? He was an ornery ass old dude, you know what I'm saying? But shit, he loved sitting with me, you know what I'm saying? And getting that great service. And you know what I'm saying? Sliding your boy 50, a hundo or whatever it was. So
a hundo!
A hundo for your boy.
Oh man.
Hey man, go take a load off, man. You know what I'm saying? Go take it out on your girl real quick. Ladies, go take it out on your dude.
We got 2 hours and 18 minutes.
See y'all back here in a short time. Play the song, Fred.
All right, man. We gonna fast forward this shit. We gonna go straight to Rob G. Hey, I'll probably pass the shit, but it's okay. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Yeah. Oh, I did. I made it.
This my personal statement. Run the game like I'm ASICs. Learn and develop paces. Determined to be the greatest. Yeah. Bobbing and weaving and changing up like the season.
Man, he had a great time in here, didn't he? God damn. Oh, man. Damn, that was fun, y'all. Woo. That was fun. That was fun. Can't wait to do it again. Give up. DB. P. Bernandez said, I'll be here tonight.
There's Mr. Vegas. I got y'all.
Oh yeah, TB got Bomac on the show right now, so make sure we go to TB show, man. Absolutely,
right
and help Tank get the 300 subs. Yeah, man. Hey, it's all in what you do. Hey, some things you gotta do. Hey. Hey,
hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the Sweet Science Examiner. The link is in the chat right now. Slide over to On the Mic with Terrence Bailey Sr. and see y'all at 9 o'clock.
Love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Yeah, peace.